The Unseen Resident.
I've always had a fascination with the inexplicable, an affinity that eventually led me to the doorstep of the infamous Redwood Manor, known in my small town as the residence of endless whispers of the paranormal.
It was an impulsive decision, fueled by the thrill of potentially encountering something beyond the veil of reality.
I went alone, armed with only a camera and the naive boldness of a curious skeptic.
Redwood Manor was a grand structure, now suffering from years of neglect, its once proud walls suffocated by overgrown ivy.
The daunting oak door groaned in protest as I pushed my way inside. I remember how the stagnant air felt unnaturally cold against my skin, a stark contrast to the warm summer evening I had left behind.
I whispered into the silence, half expecting an answer, as I made my way through the rotting corridors.
The grandeur of the manor was evident beneath the decay. It was a place frozen in time, holding steadfastly onto its secrets. I could feel the weight of countless unseen eyes tracking my progress, but I dismissed it as my mind playing tricks on me.
It wasn't until I reached the library that my bravado began to wane.
The shelves were filled with tomes that reeked of mildew and dust.
They appeared undisturbed, yet I had the unnerving sense that something had been rifling through them in thus moments before my arrival.
That's when I heard it a whisper so soft it was like the brush of a moth's wing against my ear, sending shivers racing down my spine.
I turned quickly, camera poised, but there was nothing.
As the whisper grew into murmurs, my heartbeat thrummed loudly in my ears. I felt an inexplicable urge to flee, but my feet rooted to the spot.
In the reflection of the library's grand mirror, I caught a glimpse of movement behind me.
I spun around to confront it, but was met with nothing more than encroaching shadows.
Dread settled in, a feeling so visceral that it was almost a physical force. I knew I was not alone.
The murmurs crescendoed into rasping breaths, drawing closer.
I fled, terror lending speed to my limbs, as though the devil himself was at my heels.
I did not stop until I burst into the clammy night air, gasping for breath, my heart threatening to burst.
Back in the sanctuary of my home, I downloaded my camera's content, my hands trembling.
The pictures showed only empty ruins and fading grandeur, but one photo taken in the panic of my escape made my blood run cold.
A shadowy figure, indistinct yet unmistakably human, stood behind where I had been seconds before.
Its eyes, two piercing points of light, seemed to bore into my soul.
I've never returned to Redwood Manor, and I've given up my pursuit of the paranormal.
Yet, no matter how much I tried to convince myself it was a trick of the light, a fear gnaws at me.
I sense its presence every night as I close my eyes. The unseen resident of Redwood Manor, now an uninvited guest in my life, has made my existence its own personal haunting ground.